And it used to drive me nuts as I'm there, like, you're not even looking at a bar of chocolate because I'll turn into one. Then I'll eat myself. And then what's going to happen? I'm going to be dead. Who's going to have that funeral? Nobody, because I'll melt in the sun and then some cat will come and lick me. Simon Miller, the bald asshole, here today, and I'm just going to prepare you right now. It is time to rant. It is time to pull down the trees and get the bulldozer of life and just destroy everything that we can. Now, this all sort of came from two things. One, some action that the UK government is bringing in over here that I'm going to talk about. And two, I get this message all the time. We're talking about BMI, or the body mass index, the single-handedly worst thing that was ever introduced into the world of health and fitness ever, because nobody actually educates you about it, which is my big problem that I'm going to talk about today. So, in case you don't know, and I'm sure you probably have done this in the past, most people have, the kind of go-to when trying to determine in terms of obesity and overweight and all of that a lot of medical professionals go to is the BMI index, where you put in your height, you put in your age, and you put in your weight, and then just using those three factors, it will tell you whether you're in shape or out of shape or overweight and obese. I'm going to do mine for you right now. So, all right, this is on the NHS website as well. I'm 6'1". You're going to get all my statistics now in case you cared. I weigh 15.5 stone. Don't know why that took so long to load up. I've recently turned 33 years of age. It's terrible. I am a man, and I am white, and all these things that you can already figure out. And I'm very active as well. I was glad this button was here because I worried that it wouldn't be. But even then, when my BMI comes up, it still says that I'm a fat ass, I'm overweight, and I should just probably go and throw myself into the ground. Look at that. The amount of calories that it thinks that I should lose, the amount of calories it thinks I should be taking in, it has no idea, has no clue about my day to day. And I genuinely think it's a little bit dangerous. I said it, somebody had to say it, and I said it. I mean, how stupid is that? How stupid is that? So I have just been told, and I've been told this for a long part of my life, that I am overweight. And just to kind of give you even more ridiculousness when it comes to this, do you know who else would have been overweight? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who for millions of people has like the greatest physique of all time, and people slave away and kick ass in the gym trying to get like that, apparently is overweight and should be shot and buried into the ground. Now, what we need to look at is actually where all this stuff came from, right? That's the most interesting part. And where it does come from is this guy. Because this is Adolphe Quetelet, or Adolphe Quetelet, I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's his name. And it's important to note that he was a mathematician and a statistician. So he wasn't a healthcare professional or anything like that. And he was interested in numbers and averages. Again, not health. He just wanted to sort of figure out what do people look like, how long do people live. These were the kind of things that he was interested in, and more power to him. I don't think he ever intended this to happen. And he got popularized by a guy called Ansel Keys in 1972 in the United States, where he just simply looked at a study of 7,400 men using this system to try and work out whether there was an obesity problem or not. And that just kind of snowballed from there. I'm not 100% sure about the specifics as to why. To where now, again, because of the internet too, I'm going to guess, you can just go on, you can type in all these figures, and with no sort of idea of, your body fat percentage or what you're eating or anything like that, or what you're training for, or if you're being taken care of by a doctor every single day, it will just throw out there, oh, you're obese. Oh, you're not obese. I mean, mine just said, like we talked about, I should pretty much lose a stone. Now, could I get away with losing a stone? Of course I could, but that's not the point. The issue is that we're not educating, we're not smartening people up to nutrition and fitness and all this kind of stuff. Again, the UK government yesterday, it's Tuesday, today, Monday, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, these are the rules that he is enforcing. You can't advertise fast food or junk food before 9 p.m, assuming that kids have gone to bed. We now need to put calories on restaurant menus, or at least, you have to be able to find out what the nutrition is when you do go out for a meal. And he's going to get rid of offers like buy one, get one free. So if you love getting your buy one free Chicago Town pizzas, screw you, you're not allowed to do it anymore. Now, I'm not saying this is bad at all. And at least something is being done, because you need to figure out, you can't just let this go on, especially because the stats do say that child obesity is getting more and more each and every year. So if they just sat back and did nothing, you'd be like, well, you're a bunch of assholes. The issue is, this still doesn't educate anyone. I'm going to repeat that a lot because I think it's important. If you want a pizza, and you're not going to forget what a pizza is just because it's not being advertised on TV. And once again, I understand that's more aimed at the youthful brain, which will see the delicious cheese and the awesome tomato sauce and be like, oh, I want that so much. But it's not going to help adults. Who would help adults is actually explaining to them. We did a video about this before, but what is a calorie? How does it work? How do food sources differ? Why is it bad to eat processed food? What does junk food do to your arteries and your stomach and all of these things? And then they can make informed choices as opposed to be put in some kind of crazy society where you just get your hand slapped over and over. That's like Pavlovian conditioning, and it doesn't really work, because if you did it that way too, you would also hopefully, I mean, it's not this easy, of course, but you'd hopefully start to tackle people that do associate eating with improved mood. Again, dopamine gets released when you're about to eat something nice. You've told your brain what you're going to do, and it just drowns you in chemicals in order for you to do it, because it knows it tastes good and it enjoys that, it enjoys the sensation, and so do you. It's probably why we have taste buds to begin with, to tell you, eat that, don't eat that, so on and so forth. But, with all of this stuff going on, it does absolutely hold people back. Not only because, if you're trying to put on some muscle, then you use a stupid BMI calculator and then you just stop because you think, oh, I'm getting fat and overweight. And some people do think that. Like, just the mirror is the greatest tool in the world, but you can be so caught up on your goals that you don't see what everybody else is seeing. Of course, that's a mental health condition. People have it, and it's damn serious. So if you actually took all of this and, poured the money into, especially at a school level, and telling children this is what a calorie is. A calorie is a source of fuel, essentially, and you need, 10 fuels. I'm reducing this and simplifying it hugely. You need 10 fuels to do this, and if you eat 12 fuels, this may happen. And it doesn't actually come down to the individual too. I know people that can just eat for days, and they don't actually do that much cardio, but they're thin as a rake. My boss at my first proper job, this is like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever it was, his diet was absolutely atrocious. And I'm not saying that, maybe his health was going to get bad, maybe he had other stuff going on. But you would never look at him and say he was obese. His metabolism would just accept everything that he threw at it. And it used to drive me nuts, as I'm there, like, you're not even looking at a bar of chocolate, because I'll turn into one, then I'll eat myself. And then what's going to happen? I'm going to be dead. Who's going to have that funeral? Nobody, because I'll melt in the sun, and then some cat will come and lick me. And then that's how I'll die. I got death by eaten by a cat. So just please ignore the BMI index. I get people messaging me saying, Simon, my BMI is this, my BMI is that. The BMI is a pile of crap. And yes, it could be fine for the more average person, but I still think there's other areas that should be being focused on. And lastly, the other thing the BMI doesn't do is it doesn't, there are certain societal groups that may actually be in need to have some kind of medication or some kind of help before the BMI is telling them otherwise. Like, there are statistics out there to try and prove that if you're in this category or if you're in that category, you can actually look like you're in shape, but have underlying conditions. The BMI is just a nut calculator that somebody came up with. Again, just to try and figure out how humans are living and what they're doing. It wasn't to decide whether you should lose weight or whether you should put on weight. Like, I understand why there has to be a certain total, but this idea that 2,500 calories a day for men and 2,000 calories for women is the way to go. How can they even say that? How can they even say that? They don't know what you're doing with your life. They don't know how your day to day, how much calories you're expending, how much calories you're taking in, if you're in a deficit, if you're in a surplus. It's just a random figure they threw out there because they felt like they needed to have some guidance. I'm not saying that you should collapse that entirely. You have to try and appeal to everybody, but there's just so much more we can do. Teach people this stuff. Teach them, and then when they go to eat a pizza, if they can go, oh my gosh, this probably has 1,500 calories in it, and I understand that I could have a protein bar for something else. I don't think it would be that much of a change. It's just weird. I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where obesity is tackled properly, or that we actually get health and fitness out there in the way it's meant to, until we just tackle these things completely. And they won't do that because they're more interested in other areas. Do not forget, before health and fitness blew up, there was no tax on supplements, nutritional supplements. And then as soon as it got huge with the rise of the internet, that got tacked on massively. That's how My Protein got so big. Because, fair play to them. I can't remember what it was, though, but they said, let's say it was 20% tax, whatever the hell they were going to put it on. My Protein went, well, we're only going to tax you an extra 5%. We're going to take the hit here. And because of that, everyone's like, well, that's great. I don't have to pay 70, 80 quid for protein. My Protein's doing it for far less than everybody else. And they built an empire. And some people like to take shots at My Protein. I think that's ridiculous. It is accessible, affordable, decent, supplement goods. And not everyone can go out there and afford the best stuff. Again, you can't cut people off. But I think if somebody could actually just, actually turn a box around and look at the nutritional content and understand exactly what it's going to do, not only is it going to help the more, again, average person, but if you are getting into health and fitness now and you even have, you taught yourself how this stuff works, it would just be an easier path from you as a side to jump. I feel like we have to jump through hoops. I really, really do feel like we have to jump through hoops because nobody understands how much calories is actually in this high calorific food. And on the other side of that, just to get on my high horse properly, maybe you want to eat a bunch of junk food. You should be allowed to do it. Like if you're someone that's training 7 days a week and you're only having one bad meal for like 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon, you don't want to feel like you've been pushed into a corner. If you're watching in America, I think most of American restaurants and fast food chains actually do have the calories highlighted. Personally, I don't want that. When I'm having a cheat meal, I don't want to be reminded I'm being a pig. I can remind that of myself, should I know, and deep down I already know it's true too, but that's probably a good idea. But I just don't think people will look. I don't think anyone's going to go to a restaurant and go, I'm going to have the burger, Jill, because it's Darren and Jill, I don't know, and they're out for a meal. Oh, but Darren, Dazza, love of my life, husband of 25 years. The cheeseburger's got 900 calories in it. Have this salad. He's like, I don't want a salad. I don't give a crap. Also, salads in restaurants. McDonald's salad, back in the day, they may have changed it now, had more calories than the damn burger did. So you may as well have had a burger. And they're pretending because they drowned it in dressing. You see, nobody knows this stuff. Point is, ignore the BMI index more than you ignore my bald head, which you don't do because you call me Johnny Sins in the comments every day. I'm done. Off my chest. I feel better now. See, isn't it nice having a YouTube channel? I know less people watch this video than the other ones, but now I can get through my day and think, Simon, just move on. It doesn't matter. Like the video, share the video, smash the subscribe button, hit the bell, ding, ding. Got merchandise, simonmiller.bigcartel.com. This is all in that description if you just want to go click. Support me on Patreon if you can. Patreon.com/Simon316. And why not watch some more videos? YouTube loves that. The more you watch, the more happy thoughts it gives me. I'll see you soon.